This article lists the soundtracks attributed to the Death Note franchise. Anime soundtracks Death Note original soundtrack The Death Note original soundtrack for the anime adaptation was first released in Japan on December 21, 2006 and was published by VAP. It contains music from the series, composed by Yoshihisa Hirano and Hideki Tanouchi, with the first opening and ending themes sung by the Japanese band Nightmare in the TV size format. The tracks 1 to 18 were composed and arranged by Hideki Tanouchi, while the tracks 19 to 28 were composed and arranged by Yoshihisa Hirano. The first press slipcover featured glow-in-the-dark artwork. Track listing: Death Note, Incident, Lights theme, L's theme, Tension, Horror, Solitude, Resonance, Anticipation, The Kira Special Investigation Unit, L's theme B, Hesitation, Pursuit, L's Companions, Special Investigation, Shinigami World, Boredom, REM, Death Note theme, Kiri, Domin Kira, Teleology of Death, Low of Solipsism, Requiem, Imminence, Dirge, Light Lights Up Light, Alert, The World/Nightmare, Illuminous/Nightmare. Death Note original soundtrack 2 The Death Note original soundtrack 2 for the anime adaptation was first released in Japan on March 21, 2007 and was published by VAP. It contains music from the series, composed by Hideki Tanouchi and Yoshihisa Hirano. It also features the new opening and closing themes by Maximum the Hormone in the TV size format. The tracks 1 to 8 were composed and arranged by Yoshihisa Hirano, while the tracks 9 to 28 were composed and arranged by Hideki Tanouchi. Note that, while track 19 has the same title as track 14 on the first OST, they are in fact two different songs. Strangely, track 5 is identical to the first OST's track 28, although they have different titles. The first press slipcover featured glow-in-the-dark artwork. Track listing: Kiri 2, Semblance of Dualism, Low of Solipsism 2, Death Note theme, Tactics of the Absolute, Kiri for orchestra, Air, Light Lights Up Light for piano, Black Light, L's War, Throb, Anxiety, Anxious Feelings, Higuchi, Horror B, The Yotsuba Murder Conference Room, Hatred, Shinigami World B, L's Companions, Mice's Theme A, Mice's Theme B, Intro, Sakura TV, Reasoning, Suspicious, The Yotsuba Group, Secret, Clock Ticking, What's Up, People. /Maximum the Hormone, Zetsuba Billy /Maximum the Hormone. Death Note original soundtrack 3 Death Note original soundtrack 3, released on June 27, 2007, is the third soundtrack album for the anime series Death Note. The music was created by composer and musician Hideki Tanouchi and composer Yoshihisa Hirano. The tracks 1 to 21 were composed and arranged by Hideki Tanouchi, while the tracks 22 to 28 were composed and arranged by Yoshihisa Hirano. The album features one track sung by Aya Hirano, performing as her character Miso Main from the series. Also appearing on this soundtrack is the ending theme Quadi 1/2 Death Note, which can be heard at the end of the final episode of the anime as the credits are shown. The first press slipcover featured glow-in-the-dark artwork. Track listing: Death Image, L's Past, Nier's Theme, Mellow, Mellow 2, Action, L's Ideology, Mellow's Theme, Confrontation, Nier, Misa, Misa's Video, Misa's Loneliness, Light's Return, Suspicion, Tactics, Nier 2, Light's Performance, Misa's Feelings, The Death of a Father, Misa's Song, Mikami Concertino, Trifling Stuff, Toward the Climax, Misa's Song, Quadi 1/2 Death Note. Film soundtracks. Soundtracks of Death Note Sound of Death Note is a soundtrack featuring music from the first Death Note film composed and arranged by Kenji Kawai. It was released on June 17, 2006 by VAP and is priced at ¥2,500. It is also available if you have the Death Note DVD in the original Japanese version. Track listing: A Heart Attack, A Love Sickness, A Dispute, Confused, Realize the Limitations, Disturbance, A Euro in the Heart, astonishment, a reality, logic, a challenge, make a noise in the world, a shadow, the test, give the right answer, reasoning powers, carry out a plan, memo paper, be cute, impatience, an image, suspicion, misunderstand, according to plan, a sacrifice, an observer, go into battle, believe in yourself. Equals Sound of Death Note. The last name equals Sound of Death Note. The last name is a soundtrack featuring music from the second Death Note film, Death Note. The last name, composed and arranged by Kenji Kawai. It was released on November 2, 2006 by VAP and is priced at yen. Track listing: Yellow Eyes, Sympathy, Draw Near, A Temptation, Evening Spot, Sakura Terubi Matsuondo, Videotape Message, Burn with Anger, Stranger, A Light Shining in the Darkness, Warning, Dear, Imprisonment, Weak Point, Make a Program, Parental Love, Tickle a Person's Vanity, Trick, Desire for Revenge, Investigate, Narcissism, Set a Trap, Be Caught in a Trap, Advent, Faint, An Innocent Virgin, Decoy, Fear, Loser, Game Over, Sad Man, The Dignity of Man, Pure Love, The Last Name. Tributes. Death Note Tribute Death Note Tribute is a tribute album dedicated to the live-action movie for the Death Note. Published by BMG Japan on June 21, 2006, it contains 15 tracks performed by various artists, such as Shikao Sugar, M-Flow, Buck-Tick and Aya Matsura. The soundtrack came with a cosplay Death Note notebook. Track listing: Secret Society by Shikao Sugar feat. Amazons, 37.0 Card Degree by Hitomi Yada, Hands by M-Flow, Real Days by MCU, Straight to Hell by Char, Diabolo Lucifer by Buck-Tick, Avant-Garde by Coil feat. Kayako, Navigator of Darkness by Kvan, Vendetta Code by Aggressive Dogs / Death Note All Stars D Crew, Pursuit by Aggressive Dogs / Death Note All Stars N Crew, Garden by Kirito, La by Darmond Gurkaka, We Are Five Samurai by Pellets, Goodnight by Kinmakusei, My Wonderful Method by Aya Matsura. The songs for Death Note: The Movie 1/2. The last name Tribute A 1/2 The songs for Death Note: The Movie 1/2. The last name Tribute is a tribute album dedicated to the live-action movie for the second Death Note. Published by Sony Music Distribution Incorporated on December 20, 2006, it contains 14 tracks performed by various artists, such as Orange Range, Abingdon Boys School, High and Mighty Color, Doping Panda and Galnerius. Track listing: Hokai by Kyono and DJ Starscream, Light Your Fire by Rise, Chest by Orange Range, Current Void This Word by Yuva World, FRE at K How by Abingdon Boys School, Energy by High and Mighty Color, Miracle by Doping Panda, Ninja Night School by Ultra Brain, My Soul by Milia Kato, Zinnia by Hoifesta, Drive by Hitomi Takahashi, Strange Days by Tama, Serenade by Galnerius, The Distorted World lead to spin-off L by Dorita. References